Have you ever wondered who the worst quarterback in Madden is? Well, that would be both Danny Etling and Kevin Hogan out of 48 overall. But sorry to Kevin Hogan, because we are going to be saving the career of Danny Etling. So I put him back on his most recent NFL team, the Green Bay Packers, and brought him back down to 20 years old and gave him a star dev, so there is a chance that he can develop into a good player. But this should be a ton of fun. I don't want to waste much time on this intro, but the goal today is going to be getting Danny Etling an MVP and making him at least an 80-something, maybe even a 90 overall quarterback by the end of this. So we will see what happens. But super quick, if you enjoyed today's video and think this is, a fun idea that y'all would want to see again, let's see if we can get to 2,000 likes on this video. And if we can, I will save the career of either Kevin Hogan, the other 48 overall in Madden, or the maybe more fun one, Nathan Peterman, who isn't the same overall, but is one overall better, and, he's the MVP. Like, that would be a ton of fun, I think. So let me know which one of those you would want to see down in the comments. And be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Trying to hit 60K by the end of the month, and if you like rebuilds or just goofy franchise videos like this, then you're definitely in the right place, because that is literally all I do. And then very last thing, no shout out for this video in terms of like a comment, but what gave me this idea was I saw Bordeaux did like a saving a 45 overall quarterback thing, and when I saw that, I thought, what if I do that in Madden? So rare non-comment shout out today. So go subscribe to him if you haven't already. I'm sure most of y'all are though. But all right, without further ado, let's get into this. And to be completely honest, I think he's gonna do horribly this first year, but I think once he becomes a decent overall, he's gonna start doing very well. But who knows, he could even do well this year. So let's just get to the end of the year, and let's see. I'm gonna make a prediction. By the end of this, I think Danny Etling is gonna be let's say an 86 overall by the end of year 5. That's my guess. Oh yeah, and also one last thing, I forgot to mention that we are of course going to be rebuilding this team around Danny Etling. So we're just gonna try to make this team as good as we can. I'll try to keep it a little realistic, but one thing that we should start this off with. I'm sorry, Mr. Jordan Love, but you've been replaced. So we are gonna get 2 firsts from the Raiders and a second this year for Jordan Love. That should definitely help rebuilding the rest of the team. But okay, in year 1, we finish 8-9, which honestly, that's not too bad with starting with a 48 overall quarterback. We'll see what he's up to in a second, but our offense wasn't the worst and our defense was actually really good. But let's see, I'll save Danny Etling's stats for last. Josh Jacobs, very good year. Almost 1,000 yards for Jaden Reed. The blocking was all right, pretty good for Madden at least. And then a lot of tackles. Edgerrin Cooper did very well. A lot of TFLs led by 15 from Rashawn Gary, and sacks also really good. Our defense definitely carried. Why did Quay Walker have 8 sacks? Oh, I forgot to change the playbook. Well, maybe I shouldn't. Being this good of a defense, I might just leave it, but yeah, played Quay Walker as a pass rusher because the Packers switched to a 4-3, or I guess a 4-2. And then also a good amount of picks, 3 for McKinney and Stokes, but finally, Mr. Danny Etling. I saw him at the midseason and he was doing pretty well, but how did he do? Okay, I mean, that's probably better than a 48 overall should do. 3,200 yards, 27 touchdowns, which that itself is kind of crazy. The picks definitely high, but maybe should have been even higher. And now he's up to a 59 overall. My guess was a 58. I didn't say that, but maybe I should have. And already looking much more accurate. So hey, we got something to work with here. I mean, for a guy that's, it's never great as a quarterback to get experimented with at receiver. I think like 4 separate teams have tried him at receiver. So for a guy with that background, this is a pretty good first year. So let's get into the offseason, and this is where we get into, rebuild mode. I highly doubt we're gonna do anything in free agency, just because A, I don't know if we really need to, and B, free agency for the first year in Madden is always horrible. So let's probably just get straight to the draft. But in the draft, we pick at number 15. I'm guessing the Raiders did well because, shocker, they got a good QB and they're good. No way. That's never happened before. But let's just see who is available with our pick. I think I already know what we are gonna do. Maybe. Okay, the corner I wanted is actually gone, and there's no real reason for me to go with Jonathan Cameron here because there are a few first-round talent corners later. But okay, we are gonna trade back to 21. We're gonna pick up a second-round pick and give up our 5th-round pick this year. Seems fair enough. Just because there isn't anyone I want here, honestly. But I think we're gonna take Brian Schaub at 21. I'm not gonna show too many picks this year. I will in later years, maybe. But yeah, Brian Schaub looks good, lots of A ratings, good guard. Hidden dev, sounds good. I don't think he's amazing, but I guess he could be. I almost simulated past this pick. I forgot we had back-to-back first-round picks. But the rest of this team is honestly already pretty good. There isn't much rebuilding to do. I don't know what to draft. You know what? Taylor Wheeler at safety. That's an annoying name, but he's fast. 4.37 speed at safety. Doesn't look that good, but we'll take him. Normal dev, really? And only 92 speed? This game hates me. But all right, last pick I'm going to show this year. Low-key, just looking at Jaden Barden versus Daniel Long, I would guess Barden's better, but apparently Long is a first-round talent. Barden's first to second. But Daniel Long has elite speed, or no, elite acceleration and agility, great speed. He's already 23, though. Barden's only 21. I'm gonna go with Barden. Wouldn't matter as much in real life, but in Madden, it's always better to go with the younger player, so we'll take him. And he has hidden dev, 92 speed. Sounds good. But here's how we did in the draft. Brian Schaub, 78 overall. That's a pretty good pick. The rest of these, a couple 76s, 77. I didn't even go with the first-round talent corner. D'Angelo Thomas looked pretty good, so I took him. I also took Jason Huff, Matt Kavanaugh, and then the CPU took another corner, Ben Neighbors. We're good on corners, I think. I mean, at least he's good, but... And then it also took 3 more linemen. We quite literally only took DBs and O-linemen with 1 tight end. We could have used a linebacker or, I don't know, anything else. But at least the CPU picked a couple good players. I mean, it had good picks to work with, but still. So we'll take it, and let's get into year 2. But here we are heading into year 2. Danny Etling now up to a 60, I guess a 61 with morale. It's not letting me click him. There we go. So we gained, what, 12 overall after a year in a preseason? So assuming he gains another 10 to 12 overall this year, he could be in the 70s already, which I know doesn't sound like a lot, but coming from a 48 overall, that's pretty good. And then here's the defense. I mean, obviously insanely good secondary now, at least, you know, insanely deep. So our defense definitely shouldn't hold us back. It is better on paper than our offense, but our offense should also be pretty good. So we'll see what happens. Could be a down year, hopefully not, but let's get to the midseason point. And God, what was our record last year? 8-9. Hopefully we can be 4-3 at the midseason this year. All right, well, I didn't want to believe that was gonna happen, but we're 2-5. I had a little bit of that feeling that we could have a down year this year. What's going wrong? What's the problem? It isn't Danny Etling, thankfully. He's doing well. 1,400 yards, 14 touchdowns, but the team's failing him. Is it the blocking? Kinda. Jordan Morgan is awful for some reason. Let me guess, our defense is bad. No, it's a little better than our offense. All right, we're benching Jordan Morgan for the rest of this year, and that should maybe fix it. We'll go with Ben Blackwell, the tackle that the CPU drafted. Oh yeah, and do we have any re-signings? Okay, Kenny Clark. I'm definitely good on Eric Stokes. He's like 6th string at this point. And yeah, the rest is pretty much just backups. I guess we could bring like Chase McLaughlin back, I guess. But Kenny Clark I definitely want. We'll go 2 years, 42. He takes it. And that's all we're gonna do for now. So another very quick mid-season. Let's get to the end of the year, and you know, honestly, I don't really want to bounce back this year. I want a good draft pick, all right? So let's see what happens. Okay, well, we bounced back a little bit. We almost won the division at 7-10. The Lions and Bears both went 8-9 with the Lions winning the division. I mean, that would have been kind of cool, but I guess I'm glad it didn't happen, so we could have a good draft pick this year. But Danny Etling, 3,500 yards, 32 touchdowns, only 19 picks. Well, I say only 19 picks, but he's already starting to play really well. Now, he didn't develop as much this year, only went up 7 overall throughout the year, but by the start of next year, he should be like a 69. Nice. We'll see. Josh Jacobs was insane. 1,600 yards, 5.4 per carry, 1,100 yards for Jaden Reed. Rasheed Walker sucked, but Blackwell was definitely better at guard than Morgan. And then Edgerrin Cooper, a lot of tackles, 18 TFLs for Clark and Gary, and sacks. 13 for Kenny Clark, 11 for Preston Smith is way too good in this game. I mean, he gets sacks in real life, but he's kind of one of those players that'll, like, just look at his stats. He'll have a good year, and then a down year, and then a good year, and then a down year, and then a good year, and then a down year. He's just kind of always good in franchise. And then Rashawn Gary, 9.5 sacks, and then picks, 3 for McKinney, 2 for a few players, 1 for Bullard. But Here's another thing. Are we gonna see Danny Etling up here for MVP? Or, well, that's the goal, but I guess the question is, when are we gonna start seeing him up here? If at all, which I am hoping for. That is the goal, like I said, but we will see. I highly doubt we're gonna have anyone else for any other awards, so. Actually, Kenny Clark at 3 for Defensive Player of the Year, Smith at 9, Gary at 10, Kavanaugh at 4 for Offensive Rookie of the Year, D'Angelo Thomas at 6 for Defensive Rookie of the Year. So we had a few players up there for certain awards. It's just no winners. You hate to see it. But we are just gonna hope that this was a down year. To be fair, I don't really know what the problem with our team was, looking at the stats. Like, everyone did well on offense. I mean, it was a lot of interceptions for Etling, but other than that, he did well. And our blocking wasn't that bad. And then we had a million sacks on defense. Well, we're gonna hope this was just a Madden simulation moment. Let's get into the offseason and we will see what we can do. But for the rest of our re-signings, I don't know if I'm gonna pick up the 5th year for Quay Walker. I'd rather just re-sign him, to be honest. But our cap space isn't that bad. I'm good. We'll pick up the 5th year for Devontae Wyatt, because he also isn't interested. Well, Quay Walker is, I just mean, like, it'll be really hard to re-sign Devontae Wyatt, so this will just be, an extra extension. I don't know why I'm explaining a 5th year option, but whatever. Let's get into free agency, and let's see if there's anyone we can sign this year, which I did check last year, and no, there was nobody good. Okay, it is the usual suspects: Joel Bitonio, Tua Tagovailoa, just Wyatt Teller, just literally all the usuals. But who do we want? Ooh, David Njoku. We have a lot of okay tight ends, but I mean, why not add another good option for Danny Etling? Assuming we can get David Njoku, which the Jets are interested. This is gonna be expensive. 6 years, 117 mil for a tight end. That's like good, but not top tier. That's kind of crazy. I'm trying to get it to a full green offer. It just isn't going, because I'm scared we're not gonna get him if it doesn't get up to a 5-bar offer, whatever it's called. Okay, I think that's as good as we're gonna get. That was an expensive deal. But honestly, the rest of this team is pretty good. Really, the only things I would be looking for is another really good receiver, or like, I don't know, a really good linebacker maybe, but that really doesn't exist here. So David Njoku, if he doesn't sign, I'm gonna be really upset. He's not gonna sign with us, is he? If he was gonna sign with us, he would have signed there. Now the Panthers are interested. Whatever, man. He still doesn't, he's just gonna go to the Commanders. What? I can't do anything about that. Okay, never mind, he signs with us. Why did he wait so long? He had better offers too. I don't understand this game, but we'll take it. I don't think I've ever seen that happen before, but we'll take it. Oh, and I have a fun plan for the draft, or well, draft in quotations. We'll see what we want to do. All right, and we're gonna be making this trade. Now is this an interdivision trade? Maybe, but we're giving our later first round pick, which is number 28, to the Bears for DJ Moore. Now, you'd think, why would the Bears, part with DJ Moore? Well, let me show you why. I don't know what their receiving core is, but they drafted this Ryan Witt guy who is already up to an 89 overall after year 1. I hate that face. It looks like a 40-year-old or 40-plus-year-old. They still have Keenan Allen, and then obviously Rome Odunze, who isn't developing here because they drafted a good receiver. So their receiving core is still amazing after trading away their number 1. So now Danny Etling has a ridiculous receiving group, or at least ridiculously deep, I guess. It's definitely good, we'll say that. But even after that trade, we still have the number 10 pick in the draft. I don't know what we're gonna do with it, but something. We're almost out of needs already. I mean, we kind of were last year. We are, like, legitimately out of needs now. We could go with a pass rusher just so we have, a future replacement for Preston Smith. We do have Lucas Van Ness, but Lucas Van Ness is awful in this game. Bryce Pearson looks really good. I'm thinking about him. I don't know if I want to take him top 10, though. That's the only thing. But you know what? We already got our, good value from this draft in trading for DJ Moore. So we'll reach, possibly. Bryce Pearson out of Oklahoma. He's interesting. Hidden Dev, 83 speed, 82 strength. Cool. And now last pick I'm going to show this year. Let's go with, I don't know what to do, so let's check our expiring contracts. Let's pick for the future here. Oh, okay, we're going to have a lot this year. Quay Walker, Romeo Dobbs, who we already kind of replaced. Rasheed Walker, Christian Watson, Zach Tom, so we're probably going to go O-line. Xavier McKinney, DJ Moore, Josh Jacobs. I don't know. We kind of need receiver and O-line. Or we will, at least. Javon Richards at receiver kind of looks good. Elite speed, a deep route. Sure, why not? Hidden Dev, 96 speed. Cool. We'll take that in the second round. But okay, here's how we did in the draft. It definitely wasn't great. I didn't think it would be amazing, but Pearson's a 75. That's about what I expected. I was hoping he could be a little better, but whatever. Really good finesse moves, but that's about where the positives positives end. Javon Richards, 75. And then I took these two picks. Patrick Pearson, decent center, and Jay Spadell, decent linebacker. He had hidden dev at least. And then I don't know what the CPU did. It took 2 pass rushers, even though we already had Rashawn Gary, Preston Smith, Lucas Van Ness, Bryce Pearson, and it's like, we need 2 more. I mean, I know it's just the 5th and 6th round, but like, we need depth at other positions. At least this guy's hidden dev, but still, why? But okay, here we are heading into year 3. Surprisingly, Danny Etling didn't go up in overall from, just through the preseason. Still a 67, which isn't horrible. Well, again, it's not great, but it's good for where he started. And I'm really hoping he can, make the next step this year and become really good in terms of stats and everything. We'll see. But either way, he's already done pretty well. Just needs less interceptions. And then the defense should be good this year, theoretically, I hope. Definitely good on paper. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how we do this year. I'm again gonna hope that we have a winning record at the midseason, but let's find out. But okay, we are finally doing well at 4-3. Took us a while, but I mean, I don't know what I really expected. Danny Etling is doing very well. 9 touchdowns, only 3 picks, really getting the interceptions down. Good amount of yards. Now, we'll have to see how we finish the year. Hopefully, we can finish as well as we're doing right now, but I may or may not have already looked, and we have a lot of re-signings. Well, I guess we already knew that, because we did check when we were making a trade. Or not when we were making a trade, but just, deciding who to pick. But we have to re-sign Josh Jacobs, DJ Moore, Xavier McKinney, Quay Walker, if we want to. Maybe one of these receivers, either Romeo Doubs or Christian Watson, but honestly, neither of them are interested. That's the problem. I definitely want Zach Tom back, because he's really good in this game. We'll start with Josh Jacobs, though. We'll go 4 years, 60 mil, and we are already down 15 mil from our cap space. Great. And then this is gonna eat most of the rest of it. DJ Moore will go 6 years, 166. He does take it. And we have, I thought I said 11 mil, but now we have 9 mil. So we can't bring Xavier McKinney back yet. What do we do? Guess Quay Walker, but I'd rather prioritize other things. So we'll just wait until the end of the year for the rest of these players, because I want McKinney and Zach Tom back the most out of that group. So we're already becoming broke. It's probably good I drafted some, future options here. But let's get to the end of the year and we will see how we end up doing. But okay, here we are at the end of year number 3. And if you've seen one of my videos before, y'all know why we're here. Before I reveal how we did in year 3, if you haven't already, be sure to leave a like, be sure to subscribe. Again, what did I say? 2,000 likes for either saving Kevin Hogan or probably Nathan Peterman is who we're gonna go with if we do this again. Which, by the way, I didn't even mention, but a 48/49 overall is crazy disrespectful. I can't believe they have that low of overall players in the game. And again, subscribe if you haven't already, and let me know any fun ideas y'all have that could be related to this. In year number 3, we finished 10-7 and we made the playoffs finally. We've had hold on, I just want to point something out first. We've had a lot of well, I guess only 2. I thought we had 3, but 11-14 and 12-14 were the last game before the midseason and the last game before the end of the year. So those are the only 2 scores I've seen so far. Not exactly 2 great games for us, but it is what it is. But Danny Etling finally did really well. 3,900 yards, 29 touchdowns, only 10 picks this year. Great year from him. Doubt this is enough to be up there for MVP, but it might be close. Maybe best QB, he'll be up there. Really not much rushing in this offense, though. I kind of wish we did have a little more, but Josh Jacobs was insanely good. 1,200 yards for DJ Moore, 10 touchdowns. Ooh, maybe I should have checked the blocking at the midseason. Ben Blackwell and Zach Tom were both awful. That's great. So I think we're gonna bench at least Blackwell for Rasheed Walker for the playoffs. Wow, the word just didn't come out there. Playoffs. And then Edgerrin Cooper, 123 tackles, TFLs, good amount, 24 for Preston Smith, led the team. Just a few tackles for loss. And then sacks, 11 for Rashawn Gary, 9.5 for Kenny Clark, 7 for Preston Smith. Definitely down from last year, but still pretty good. And then 4 picks for Levante David. I didn't intentionally start him over Quay Walker. Even Tyron Hopper played more than Quay Walker. That's not exactly what I wanted, but whatever. 4 picks for McKinney and then 2 for Cooper and Alexander. But MVP goes to Jalen Hurts. That's interesting. No Danny Etling up here for MVP, though, or Offensive Player of the Year, obviously, but Josh Jacobs was up there. Rashawn Gary at 5 for Defensive Player of the Year, Levante David at 7, Preston Smith at 10. But best QB, is Danny Etling gonna be up here? He is at number 8. Okay, cool. So he's at least good enough to make it here. So he's what, number 8 out of 16 in the NFC? So he's at least mid, which is very good for, again, someone that started as a 48 overall. And let's see, what was his overall overall, he's what, a 72 now? So he's starting to slow down in terms of development. I mean, it is harder to develop now, but what he really needs is a slightly better dev trait. It's going to be hard for him to get that, but maybe this next year, we'll see. But we have our first playoff game here against the Eagles. We have a first of many scenario. Now, the Eagles have a better record. They're at home. They're a better overall, so I don't think we're going to win this one, but let's see what happens. And of course not. We get destroyed 42-28. But let's get into year 4, and this is where I'm starting to have expectations. We should be doing well. Now that I have expectations, we're going to go 7-10 next year, but hopefully not. But now another tough situation here. The re-signings. We actually have a little more money now. We have 29 mil to work with, but I'm still going to restructure like every contract I possibly can, because why not? But Xavier McKinney, we will go player friendly. We'll go 5 years, 110 mil, and he does take it. Okay, cool. And then I'm not going to bring back either of these receivers. Quay Walker, I will bring back. We'll go 3 years, 20 mil, which is I think what he was asking at the midseason, and he does take it. Other than that, I mean, Zach Tom was pretty horrible this year. I don't think I've ever seen him do that bad. Usually he does even better than this, like 7. He does usually around like 5 to 8 sacks allowed, I guess. I don't know. He's the tackle I always sign in franchise, and here he isn't doing well, so I don't know what to do. But are we really going to be able to find someone better? I think this might have just been a down year. I'm hoping. 3 years, 52 mil. He takes it. Okay, cool. I don't feel great about it, but we'll see. And then Levante David was good, but he's 36 and not interested, so that's tough. But not much money to work with in free agency, but we'll see if there's anything we can do. Okay, not really. Micah Parsons is here, which would be cool. I mean, that's like the last thing we need, more pass rush, but even if I wanted him, we have 16 mil to work with, and he's asking 36 and a half, so probably not gonna happen, believe it or not. But if we don't, like, what are we gonna do here? I guess maybe Geno Stone, we could sign him. That's an upgrade at least. Like, there isn't a good left tackle. I mean, there's Garrett Bowles, but let's see how he's been doing here. Oh, actually really good. It's just whenever I sign him, he allows about 20 sacks per year, so I don't trust him. But yeah, I guess we'll just sign Geno Stone. I mean, I don't really know what else to do. That isn't really that much of an upgrade, though. You know what? We'll sign Garrett Bowles. If he sucks, then we'll just bench him. If he wants to sign, he isn't interested in the team, though. Okay, and no, he doesn't want to sign. I pressed the button 3 times, so we really just needed a great left tackle, and that wasn't available, unfortunately, so what can you really do? But in the draft, we pick at number 20. The Packers are a hard team to rebuild, not because, like, they're bad, but because it's hard to know what to upgrade. Let's see, we could go with another receiver. I mean, we did lose a couple of them. Jeff Osborne looks decent. He has F medium route, though. It's usually not good to take players with F ratings, believe it or not. Sometimes it doesn't matter that much if they're good at everything else, but I don't know. We still might take him. There is also Derek Barnes. He looks decent. We'll go with Jeff Osborne, though. Elite speed, great acceleration, a deep route, a spec catch. Really similar to the deep threat we took last year or whenever that was. Wait, do we still have him? Maybe we just don't need to take a receiver at all. I kind of forgot about that. Okay, yeah, never mind. And also Garrett Bowles did sign, so we don't really need to take a tackle. Okay, that doesn't really make much sense. I wouldn't really... Tim Hutchinson ran a 4.53, but that is somehow great speed and elite acceleration. Huh. At safety, I should add, which, you know, usually they're a little slower than corners, but a 4.53? Great and elite? Okay. He does look really good, though. I mean, he's listed as a zone safety, but also has A-man, so I'm hoping it's has B-man, so I'm hoping it's at least an A, or at least a B zone. Words are hard. I don't know what's wrong with it. The only question is, do we already have too many DBs? Probably. D'Angelo Hall is back. That's welcome back to the NFL. I just got like weird deja vu. I don't know why. But all right, we'll just take Tim Hutchinson. Only 21 years old too, so I don't know if he's amazing. Probably not. He has normal dev. Whatever. This has been some horrible drafting from me. Not that it's really made a difference, because the team's already good, but still. Dude, the name Epstein. Why does Epstein... It's only a matter of time until we have like a Jeff Epstein or something show up. I don't know if... I don't see Jeffrey much in this game. Maybe, though. You never know. There are also 2 back-to-back Randolphs at center. That's fun. But all right, let's just go with Cole Sears, first to second round talent. Last pick I'm going to show here. We'll take him. Hidden dev. Cool. You can never go wrong with more good O-linemen. Okay, wait. We actually did really well this year. Tim Hutchinson, that's just unlucky because he's an 81 overall, just no dev trait. Why does this game hate me? He has 83 zones, so that was definitely an A. B-man was only a 74, so that's not great, but I don't know. Good safety. Not much I can do about the dev trait. Cole Sears, he's decent at 74, but Ricky Strong is actually better at a 76. This was the last pick I took. 88 strength, good pass blocking, 89 impact block, 77 awareness. And then I was gonna take a linebacker with our 4th round pick. The CP read my mind, but not exactly the best linebacker I've ever seen. Jeff Reddick, a 64 overall. Great pick, CPU. Definitely a almost amazing draft if, you know, the safety wasn't a bad dev trait. I tried my best. But okay, here we are heading into year 4, looking good. Danny Etling up to a 73 overall, 74 with morale, also looking good. I'm definitely glad I made him only 20 years old with the star dev, because if I didn't, he would be like a 57 right now still, and like 32. He might have even retired, honestly, so probably good to do it this way. But we only have an 87 overall offense, but an 88 defense. Our defense is very, very good. We're definitely making it as easy as we possibly can for Danny Etling, which I think is a good thing. And also we have an insanely deep O-line now, so if one of these players underperform, we'll just immediately bench them at the midseason. So speaking of that, let's get to the midseason, and hopefully it could be a down year, and I'm scared of that, but we will see. Okay, we definitely aren't underperforming. We are 6-0 at the midseason. We have the best offense in the league in terms of points per game and a mid defense, but we have a good run D. I feel like what's going to happen in the second half of the year is, in terms of points, our offense is going to fall off a little bit and our defense is going to get a little better. We'll see though, because yeah, for yards, our defense is a lot better than our offense. This is weird. But Danny Etling, only 1,200 yards so far, but 11 touchdowns, only 3 picks. Numbers are hard, apparently. I don't know how to read. But do y'all see what I see? We have 24 re-signings to worry about. Okay. Jair Alexander, Edgerrin Cooper, Kenny Clark, Jaden Reed, Javon Bullard, Jordan Morgan, Lucas Van Ness, Devontae Wyatt, Elgton Jenkins. This might have to be the final year. I don't know if we're gonna survive this year. Preston Smith, holy shit. I don't know if I've seen this many re-signings before. I mean, maybe, but we have the money to maybe re-sign these 3, and that's it. So that's unlucky. But Jair Alexander, I don't know if we can do this. We might just have to look for a different corner, because this is gonna be like almost half of our money. 3 years, 81. I mean, that isn't a horrible deal, but he just isn't interested. We'll see if he takes it. He doesn't even take it, so that's tough. Edgerrin Cooper will go 5 years, 78. He takes it. Cool. Kenny Clark, we'll go 3 years, 69 mil. Nice. He's still only 30 at this point. Wait, what? Have we not done as many years as I thought we have? Are we not in year 4? How old is he in real life? Okay, he's 28. For some reason, I thought he was already 30. I don't know. But 3 years, 69 mil, he takes it. And then we will have to worry about all the rest of these at the end of the year. We'll see what happens. That's what I'll say. But let's get to the end of this season. We'll worry about this season for now, and hopefully we do well. Okay, and we finished the year 14-3. Finally having a super dominant year. I'm kind of surprised. Like I said, I kind of thought this would be a down year, but no, we did very well. Now, we didn't do as well in the second half of the year, but I mean, still what, 8-3, so that's pretty great. Danny Etling, not as good as last year. 3,900 yards, 28 touchdowns, that's fine, but 14 picks. Good completion percentage, but definitely playing like his overall here. I mean, arguably, but 1,700 yards and 25 touchdowns for Josh Jacobs. That might be the record. I can't remember what the record is. It's either like 24 or 27 from, I think it's like Sean Alexander and LaDainian Tomlinson or something. I don't know. But 1,100 yards for DJ Moore. Ooh, Javon Richards did really well. I mean, not many touchdowns, but 900 yards. The blocking was a lot better than I expected, so that's cool. Not many tackles, which is a good thing. 20 TFLs for Gary, Smith, and Clark, and sacks. Really one-sided here. That is Rashawn Gary with 19.5. 6.5 for Preston Smith is all right. 5 for Devontae Wyatt. Kenny Clark with only 2.5, though. Unlucky. And then speaking of one-sided, or I guess two-sided here, 5 picks for Edgerrin Cooper and Jair Alexander, and then only 5 picks total for the rest of the team. So really, really, really good year this year. But MVP goes to Mahomes. I highly doubt we're going to see Danny Etling up here. No. Josh Jacobs at 2 for Offensive Player of the Year. He really couldn't win it with that type of season. Rashawn Gary does win Defensive Player of the Year, though. That would have been cool to get both. Also, Tim Hutchinson up there at 3 for Defensive Rookie of the Year, which, by the way, I played him at free safety and sub linebacker, so I'm a little surprised he didn't win it, but to be fair, I didn't really see what he did. But best QB, Danny Etling at 10, so a little worse than last year. Just too many picks, unfortunately. But hey, I mean, with the challenge of saving his career, we've definitely done that so far. far, being at least a decent QB from a 48 overall. But let's see who we are going to be probably losing to in the divisional. Yep, it's a 9-8 team. GG's. I do want to check, though. Did Josh Jacobs beat the rushing touchdowns record for a year? No, it's 20. Priest Holmes and Sean Alexander both have 27. But Josh Jacobs, I mean, top 5, that's pretty cool either way. But I don't have a good feeling about this playoff game. Maybe I'm unjinxing it by, like, saying for sure that we're going to lose to a 9-8 team. Maybe that's some reverse psychology. I don't know. But I don't have a good feeling. Again, I should say, if you've seen one of my videos before, y'all know that 9-8 teams in the playoffs are almost unbeatable in simulation. Now, I guess we can't complain too much because, you know, they're an 88 overall. They're almost as good on paper as us, but we deserve to win this game. So let's see what happens. And okay, I unjinxed it. We win 30-24. Cool. And we do get an upgrade for Edgerrin Cooper, also one for Elijah Mitchell, but whatever. And we have a hot opponent scenario for the Falcons. They're a hot opponent and they only went 10-7. Did they start like 1-6 or something? We will go be confident. Y'all know me. We're gonna do one more year here either way, but this is really our best shot at a Super Bowl win, I think. We're overdue for a massive underperformance, and I'm worried that'll be next year. But let's see if we can move on to the Super Bowl here. The Falcons are another scary team that I don't have much success against in the playoffs, but let's see what happens. Oh, and we absolutely destroy the Falcons 45-7. So what do we get for the hot opponent? Plus 10, all those stats, and 2,500 XP. That's cool. But we are gonna be taking on the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Speaking of hard teams in the playoffs, we do have an upgrade for Rashawn Gary, but can I check right now, like, past years? Where do I check that? League history. The Chiefs were in the Super Bowl last year. We've actually had Eagles Chiefs twice here, and then obviously this one was real life. It's been the same 3 teams in the last 3 Super Bowls here. I guess 4 if you count the last 4. I mean, this doesn't count the most recent real life one, but whatever. It's been Chiefs, Eagles, and then the Jags in this one, who got 56 points put up on them. That might be the highest scoring Super Bowl I've ever seen. So yeah, the Chiefs are pretty good in this game, and the Eagles. But we have a Super Bowl media day here. We get 10 staff points, we'll take it, but I'm scared, man. I don't know if we have a shot. I mean, there is a shot. We have the better record, but going against the Chiefs in the playoffs, especially the Super Bowl, I don't know, man. On a positive note, we did get a few dev traits. Edgerrin Cooper got X Factor, which, by the way, we have an insane amount of ratings boosts. But yeah, Cooper got X Factor, and then Hutchinson got Star. That's cool. I think those were the only dev traits we got this year, but still good. But let's jump in. We'll watch it simulate against the Chiefs, and we will see what happens. But here we go in the Super Bowl against the Chiefs. I, again, don't want to keep saying it, but I don't have a good feeling about this. We will see what happens. I don't think I've ever been in a Super Bowl on my new PC. This runs a lot better than my old one. But without further ado, let's simulate this game, and we will see if we can make Danny Etling a Super Bowl champion. You know what? He's been on so many teams that he might already be one. I have no idea. But as the starter, let's see what happens. We do score first to make it 7-0, but they, of course, tied at 7. We are driving, and we do get a touchdown, but they're going to match it at 14. We get a touchdown. Just our defense is selling. As I say that, we do hold them to a field goal, and we get a touchdown. They do get one to match, though, and the 2-point conversion. But we're up 42-25. How did that happen? They only get a field goal. They are driving. They get a touchdown, but it is going to be too little too late for the Chiefs, and we win the Super Bowl. I don't know why we're looking at Michael Pratt. Where's Danny Etling? There he is. I saw him for a split second. Can we show the important player here, please? There he is. My GOAT, my king, Danny Etling, embracing Patrick Mahomes. There's a new GOAT in town. I gotta see it. Let him hold the Lombardi, you know what I'm saying? There we go. Doesn't really look like him, but whatever. And you know what? That's gonna be a perfect way to close out this rebuild. I don't think he won Super Bowl MVP. He didn't win an MVP in this rebuild, but you know what? He was the MVP in our hearts. And he did very well in the Super Bowl. 2 touchdowns, no picks, 77 completion percentage, good amount of yards, outplayed Patrick Mahomes. I would consider that a success. But that was a ton of fun. I really hope y'all enjoyed this, and I hope y'all want to see more like this, because I am more than happy to do more goofy stuff like this. Y'all already know. So, I mean, I can do this, like I said, with Nathan Peterman, Kevin Hogan. I know someone was asking to see pretty much this with Trace McSorley, which I guess I could do that. Let me know what you would want to see down in the comments. But you're a real one if you've made it all the way to this point in the video, I guess the rebuild / career saving. And again, subscribe for more, like the video if you haven't already. And with that, I will see y'all again in the next video. Goodbye.